Hello, everyone, and welcome to Nails and Beauty Talk. I am your host, ASIATHABIRD. Today, I have a very special guest with us today. She is a nail art content creator. Please welcome Rebekah Pritchard. Hello, Rebekah, and welcome.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Yes, absolutely. Glad to have you. So I want to go ahead and get started by asking where you're originally from and tell us a little about your upbringing.
Okay, so I'm from the UK. I actually live in the centre of England, so right in the Midlands, in the heart of the country. It's actually a lot of people think that I'm from London. I'm not. It's a good 2.5 hour drive, which is probably nothing to you in America, because I know that you guys drive long distances, don't you? But to us,
Yeah.
that's a commute.
Yeah,
So
right.
yes, I'm from the I'm from the centre of England, and I've lived here all my life. I've only moved probably about 4 miles away from where I grew up with my mum and dad.
Mhm.
And yeah, I had a really happy upbringing with my mum, dad. I've got a younger sister who's 2 years younger than me, and an older brother who's 7 years older than me. So
Wow.
yeah, I can't speak more highly of my parents. I loved my upbringing. They own their own business, so that's definitely where I got the entrepreneurial side of me. And I don't know whether you know this about me, but I owned a salon for 12 years.
Wow,
So
really?
yeah, so I always wanted my own business. So I definitely know that that's where that stemmed from. But
Mhm.
yeah, my mum's very, very creative. Um, Makes absolutely anything and everything. She makes clothes, curtains, bedding, Christmas decorations, everything.
Wow.
So I know that my creative sides come from her.
Mm,
And they're just really, really hardworking people.
mm.
So yeah, that's a bit about me and where I grew up and family life and stuff. But yeah.
Yeah, that's really, really cool. So I definitely want to get into this other question now. Prior to art, like, did you have any other hobbies of interest like growing up, or was it just solely art that you was attracted to the most?
Um, so I've always been into anything creative, whether it's been craft, painting, art, but I've also
Hmm.
always kind of been into performing, I suppose. I was in quite a lot of theatrical performances, never as an actor, always as like a dancer. I was always into the dancing.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I actually did again, not a lot of people know this. I've not really told a lot of people, but I used to be a competitive Irish dancer. Have you seen the Irish dances? You know, like the river dance with Michael
oh yeah,
Flatley?
yeah, yeah. I heard the river dance. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so
Mhm.
I used to do like the river dance as a child growing up, and I used to do that competitively. I won quite a few trophies, so that was
Wow.
something that I did. Yeah, yeah. I'm just trying to think back whether it was mainly like dancing that I was really into, and just absolutely loved anything to do with art. Just loved it. It
Mm,
was my favourite subject at school.
mm. Yeah,
I've
yeah.
never been
Prior.
really like,
Mhm.
sorry.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I've never really been like academic.
Mm.
So, to sit there and do maths or English or anything like that, it bored me silly, absolutely bored me to death. And I
Right.
just couldn't wait to get out of school and move on to the next stage of my life, because all I wanted to do was just be creative.
Mm. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. That's the same thing with me. I didn't care about any other subject. Once I, fell in love with art during the second grade, elementary
Yeah,
school, primary school, I was like, that's it. I
that's
was
it.
like, I love how, art is very expressive and there's no limit.
Yeah,
Math and other stuff is just kind of boring to me. So I'm like, okay, I like being creative. I love to, and I get it from my dad, but I've gotten more into it because of like getting into art class and things like that. You know what I
yeah,
mean? And even when I got into high school, I did like a year of like track and that was it. But for the majority of the time in my high school career, I did like cosmetology courses. So,
yeah,
I got my, cosmetology license, my beauty license before I got
yeah.
into art school. So yeah, but definitely I was, I'm the same. I didn't care about no other subject except for creative stuff.
I remember, I don't know whether it's the same with you at school, but in the UK, we have to do like GCSEs, which is like the exams from the age of like 14 to 16. You do it for like 2 years, and I took art as my GCSE. So we have to do like exams and coursework from the age of 14 to 16.
Mhm.
And I took art obviously as one of my, what do they call it? One of my options. And
Mhm.
I remember them saying, in the last year of school that we had like a 9-hour art exam, and then all my friends were going, oh my God, 9 hours to sit there. And I just thought, this is amazing. Like, I was just rubbing my hands together, and I was like, this is the best day ever. I absolutely loved it. I found sitting in the other subjects so boring, just beyond boring. And all I used to do was doodle in the books in the back, just to entertain myself.
Yeah, right, exactly. I want to push gears and talk about, you did mention, owning a salon for 12 years.
Yeah.
So what has been your experience, during that time, during those 12 years of owning a nail salon?
Yeah, so when I actually owned the nail salon with my sister, who I spoke about. Her name's Hannah, and we opened up the nail salon at a very young age. So I was 21 and she was 19. I went straight from school to train in beauty therapy, which is the same as cosmetology. So it was everything, facials, waxing, nails, everything. And then I went and worked for somebody for about 5 years or so. And it was working for somebody that made me realise that I didn't want to work for somebody. I thought, you know what, I can make more money. I'll be happier doing this on my own. So me and my sister decided to set up business together. And it was such a learning curve. It really was. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And the day that I decided to sell it, I cried my eyes out. Absolutely cried my eyes out. But it was kind of like, I wasn't forced to sell it or anything like that. It was just moving on to the next chapter. And it was fond memories of such an amazing 12 years. And I loved owning a salon. It taught me so much. It taught me patience. I'm such a control freak. And it taught me to be patient and to work hard. And it just gave me that drive to go out, and there was no question that it couldn't work. It had to work. So it gave me the drive that I've got today, and I absolutely loved it. And the reason that I sold it, because I'm sure you're going to ask me that, the reason I sold it is because I had a baby girl nearly 12 months ago. So I found out I was pregnant, and it wasn't that local to where I live. So the commute, my sister had twins a couple of years before, so she wasn't as active with helping me with the salon. So it was just time to move on, and I really wanted to focus on my online stuff, my collaborations, and my online presence. So it was kind of the end of an era, and sad, but a happy sad, because I was excited for what was to come.
Yeah, absolutely, most definitely. Now, who would you consider to be like your role models in your life?
In my life, I definitely look up to my mum a lot. Definitely. I think, I don't think there's anything that she can't do. I've never ever heard my mum say no. Never heard her say no, I can't do that. If there's something that I want to create or do, she'll always kind of talk it through with me and say, we'll figure this out. We'll do this. We can make this happen. So I definitely admire that about her. She's so hardworking. My husband as well is also, so supportive with what I do. Really supportive, and he's just such a supportive partner in general. So I never have that worry of like, home life and whether he's going to be okay with me going here, going there, whatever. He's just really, really supportive. So definitely look up to him as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to get also more with your mom as well. What are some of the most valuable lessons that your mom has taught you?
Oh gosh, that's a deep one. To be kind, definitely to be kind. My mom sees the best in everybody, even if sometimes I think maybe I can be quicker to judge, and it definitely makes me take a step back and think, right, give everyone the benefit of the doubt, So she's definitely so kind. That's definitely like a really big lesson. And she's taught me so much just creatively. I've made so many amazing things from a house, decorating wise. Christmas, I have to send you a picture of my Christmas decorations when we're finished. Because we kind of have a challenge every year to make something impressive. Me and my mum, we're kind of trying to outdo each other every year, and we've actually swapped Christmas decorations this year. So so I don't know, there's so much. That question is so hard to answer because it's endless.
Mm.
then
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing with my mom and my dad as well. Like there's so many lessons that that I'm being taught and things like that, or have been taught, and I'm only
yeah,
27, you know what I
yeah,
mean? So it's very cool to, have a good support system, but also
oh
to
yeah.
have people that will lead you on the way of how to really move, in any
Mm.
field that you want to get into.
Yeah, I will add something has just come to mind. One of the lessons that I'm so grateful that my mum and dad taught me growing up was how to save and look after your money.
Mm,
From a
absolutely.
young age, they made me, when I learned to drive, they made me put money away from my Saturday job that I didn't earn very much, but I'd put
Mhm,
away a percentage of that every week when I got paid towards my car
mhm.
insurance and towards things like that. So
Right.
that's definitely a lesson that I'll be passing on to my daughter, because it's made me manage my money as an adult, and it's priceless. I've met people who are just not good with money, and I really
Mm.
want that for my daughter, to be able to not get in tricky situations, and try and manage what money you get as best as you can.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's very interesting because like that's I was taught by my dad too, like how to
Yeah.
save and especially learning about style and fashion. Like you don't have to wear solely like labels. You can
Yes.
take different pieces, even it's from the clearance rack, and
Yeah.
style it and put it together. So I've learned fashion style from my dad,
Yeah.
and those were very, very valuable lessons. And that's how, I was able to come into my own and have my own style and things like that. So,
Yeah.
but definitely, that's I still practice myself, like saving, make sure I have a budget and things like that.
Hmm. Yeah. I've got to say, your style is awesome.
Thank you.
You are so cool. Love the hat.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Much appreciated. So I want to go ahead and really push gears and talk about friendship because you are good friends with
Okay.
Chantelle Johnson from
Yeah.
Clawgasmic, and I just interviewed her. Shout out to Clawgasmic. So I want to really, talk about that. Not only have you both done a masterclass together for nail art, but you'll be doing a masterclass for nail order Sunday service in January coming up.
Yeah.
So from your point of view, how did you two like link up, and tell us more about the Sunday service?
Okay. So I'll start with how we kind of met. It was lockdown 2020, and that was actually when I started my Instagram account. So I started it in the November 2020.
Mhm.
And I just said to myself, right, I've got this time where I can't work, because I don't know what it was like over there, but they shut the salons for months and months and months.
Right.
So I had this time, which I never had being a business owner. I was always working. And I thought,
Right.
right, I'm gonna do what I've always wanted to do here. I'm gonna start creating what I want to create rather than what the
Mhm.
client wants
Mhm.
on my hand, because I've got nobody else,
Mhm.
and started putting my work out there. And I became aware of Shan Clawgasmic as I started to network with people on Instagram. And then one day she popped up, I'm sure she'd messaged me actually. She popped up in my inbox, and she'd started doing these Instagram lives. I think they were like weekly that she was doing them.
Right.
And she popped up on my in my inbox and was like something
Mhm.
like, really love your work. Would you consider doing an Instagram live with me? Oh my God, I was so scared. I just started doing, putting my work out there, which was such a big thing, because I wasn't recreating what other people were doing.
Right.
I was doing my own design, setting my own trends, and
Mhm.
I didn't know how that was going to go. I didn't know whether people were going to like that, but do you know what? I didn't even care. I was just doing it for myself. So
Right.
then she was like, come on, you can do it. And I was like, I kind of just entered this era where I said, like, what's the worst that can happen? I'm going to say yes to every opportunity that comes my way and just have fun with it.
Mhm.
So we did the Instagram live. And off the back of that, we just really clicked. We just, I don't really know. It seems like such a long time ago, but we just
Right.
really clicked. She's so similar to me, um, in our morals, in the way we treat people, in
Right.
our work ethic. We're hard workers, and
Right.
if
Mhm.
something's not right, especially when we're working together, I'm not afraid to tell her, we need to tweak that design a little bit. It'll look better in these colours. And she
Right.
will say exactly the same to me. She'll say, do you know what? That's not your best work. And we have that respect for each other, and we just get on so well. We have the banter, we have the laughs, and do you know what? She has been one of the best things that has come out from Instagram for me, because she has turned into a real friend.
Yeah, absolutely, most definitely. I want to really ask, as far as friendship, how would you define friendship?
How would I define friendship? Loyalty. Definitely loyalty is very important to me. Um, just being there for somebody whenever they need to talk, whether it's just about stupid things like what colour shall I have on my nails, or whether it's about, you know, whether it's about something deeper like family troubles, relationship troubles, whether it's something like that. I
Right.
just think it's about having fun with somebody, and just,
Yeah.
but for me, I have a small group of really good friends, and they're people who I can be completely myself with.
hmm Yeah, yeah, absolutely, most definitely. Because, like in my experience, I've had experiences, with friendship and things like that. Some people I thought were my friends.
Mm,
Sometimes with certain friendships, it lasts a season and things like
yeah,
that.
yeah,
And I think that's something that a lot of us long for, is to have a friendship that lasts, 10, 20 or so plus years
yeah,
in time and
yeah.
things like that. So, and I think especially in social media now, like a lot of things are superficial, and it
Hmm.
can be hard to find, good, kind people at times, you know what I mean? And
I
and that
agree.
and that's the thing. So we live in a time where it's just superficial, and that's not good to live by.
No, the friendships I have are like 15, 20 years plus friendships, and
Mm,
Shan's just come along and added to the group. But
mhm.
I definitely, I I'm not the type of person that just can make friends with anybody and everybody. You've got to be that
Right.
special kind of person for me to be able to put my time and effort into building that relationship with you. Um,
Mm,
so yeah, so
yeah, and that's the thing with the nail industry, because there, is having, someone or people that you can, have in common with, like those common goals or those common aspects of creativity. And, it's really cool, because I've been, in the nail community, like I've been licensed for like 8 years, but I've been into nail since I was like 13 or 14.
yeah,
And so, social media is really cool because it helps you connect with other people and to find good people that you have in common with,
yeah.
getting into nails, talking about nail artistry and things like that. So, I've found some valuable friends, I can count on in the nail industry. It's like, that's amazing.
It's so nice, especially if you work on your own, to be able to ask, product advice, advice on how to do a certain technique.
Right.
Um, it's so valuable.
Absolutely. Definitely. Most definitely. So I want to get into you being a nail art content creator. So you've done collabs with Moyu and Luxie.
Mhm.
So as far as collaborations, what would you say to new and up and coming nail art content creators as far as how to reach out for, collaborations? How do you get brands to see you?
So one of my biggest things up there is ask. Put
Mm,
yourself on the map. There's so many people on Instagram or TikTok or wherever you are
right.
that you've got to stand out. And sometimes, no matter how big your account is, they may just not have seen your work. So definitely
Right.
put yourself out there and ask. What is the worst that they can say? They can say no, or they can say we can consider you at another time. But
Right.
definitely ask. I mean, there's
Absolutely.
nothing bad that can come from that. Um, and then on the other hand, what's worked for me is by creating my own original designs. So
Right.
standing out in that way, rather than following the trends, I've been trying to create my own trends, um, and create my own designs. And I think that
Right.
appeals to companies like Moyu, because that's individual, that's what they're after. They're seeing that people are recreating those designs, so they're wearing it on their nails. So when we were having that discussion about the nail wrap collab that I did with them, that really appealed because people wanted it, so they created it. So
Right.
yeah,
Yeah, absolutely. So as far as nail art content, like nail content, what would be some of your tips as far as how to achieve very good nail content?
okay. So one of my rules is, if if I'm in doubt whether it's good enough, it's not good enough to post. I won't just post anything and everything. So there are some designs that don't make it to Instagram at all because I'm just not feeling it when I'm
Right.
finished, or the
Mm-hmm.
lighting hasn't been right, or I didn't have enough time to take the photos or the videos that I'm happy with at the end. So
Right.
definitely you need to really kind of make a list on what you want to put out there, what's really important to you, and try and stick to like your core values.
Right.
That's really important, I think. And that's what I try to do.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, definitely put your best foot forward as far as the work you put out and things like that. Because
Mhm.
there's times like with me personally, like if I don't feel like a nail design is my best work and stuff like that, I'll just redo it. I
Yeah,
wouldn't even
and do it.
post it. I would just redo it until I get it right.
Because you don't get a second chance with people. You
Right.
don't, especially on Instagram. They don't know you. They don't know you. So they get 1 second where they're either like, yeah, I like that, or they scroll past it. And
Right.
or that could be the difference between them following you or unfollowing you. If they think, wow, that work was amazing that time, but her lighting, that picture's not very clear, it's
Mhm.
blurry, or it's not her best work, they might think, no, off we pop.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
definitely you need to be consistent with what you're putting out there. And I definitely think like even if you just have like 5 core values, then that's something that I try to stick to every time.
And
If
I think
if
it's
I'm
not.
ever Oh, sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
If
I'm
I'm
sorry.
ever if I'm ever unsure, then I always reach out to my sister and I'm like, oh, I'm not really sure on this one. And I'll send her the picture. And I go from like her instant reaction. And if it's not the instant reaction that I want, it's gone.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, right. Absolutely. And the thing is, it's not just with nail. I think it's also how you treat other people on social media.
Mhm.
That makes a difference too, because
Yes, yeah.
I think that when you treat others with kindness and you support different nail artists and stuff like that, whether they have a big following, small following,
Yeah.
people are attracted to people that are about like support and about spreading kindness. So I think that's definitely
Mhm.
important too. And you want to be very
100%.
mindful as far as you don't want to burn bridges with people. You know,
No.
that's the thing, and
What
that's what makes
what
people unfollow you and things like that.
what what is the point? I don't understand these accounts that troll people and write negative things. You know,
Mhm.
what are you going to achieve by that? You're only going to knock somebody's confidence who's trying to put themselves out there.
Right.
Everybody can get better. There's always some next level. So whether you're down here or up there, there's always somewhere to go.
Right.
And it makes me so angry when you see people put these negative comments because I
Yeah.
just think I just really don't understand it.
Yeah,
So yes,
yeah.
definitely kindness goes a long way.
Absolutely. Now, how does one charge as far as collaborations? Like, do you charge for collaborations personally? Like, how does one charge for collaborations?
So every job is completely different, and you really need to consider how much time it's going to take you, whether that's the planning process. For me, it's slightly different because it can take me some time to come up with the design. I often start with like colours, and then the design kind of evolve from that. So
Mhm.
you really have to think about how long it's going to take you, your products, and then the time of actually executing the design, photographing it, recording it, and then editing it into either a reel or still images. So
Right.
that's a really difficult question because every person and every job is so, so different.
Right.
So that's what I would say. You really need to try and break it down into how many hours or days worth of work that is going to take you. And then you should really have some kind of idea in your head of like your hourly rate or your daily rate, um, and do it like that. And obviously, as your Instagram followers grow, you're able to charge more money because you will get to a wider audience. So your prices should always be changing as you're growing.
Absolutely. I totally agree with that. So I want to get into as far as your nail artistry. I love like how you pay so much attention to detail and your work is absolutely beautiful, absolutely amazing. So I want to get
Oh, thank
into
you.
as far as nail brushes. So what are some nail art brushes you use to achieve fine line details?
Okay, so some of my favourite brushes are from Magpie Beauty. I believe you have a distributor in the US, don't you?
I think so.
Um, Yeah, so their striper brush is like my go-to brush. I use that for all line work, and I've tried to use like a smaller length brush, but I just prefer a longer brush, just have a little bit more control with it. So that's definitely my go-to brush for the really, really fine details. And then one of my favorite brushes to use is like a slanted one stroke 2 or 4, and that's what I use for all of my floral work. So couldn't be without those. And also again from Magpie, I've recently been trying some of the Nails Lux brushes. I'm not sure whether you heard of them yet. And I've been so impressed with them.
Oh wow, that's really, really cool. Now, what is like?
Yeah.
Is it like a whole set of brushes from Magpie, or is it like, different brushes that's individual?
Different individual brushes, yeah, you can buy them separately.
Oh, okay, cool, cool, cool. I gotta
Yeah.
check them out.
Yeah, you should look at the Nails Lux ones. They're beautiful. They look, let me show you. They look like I'm not sure if I can put my hand on it. Okay, they look like pencils.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
Yeah. And then oh, I can't get the lid off. It's too cold in here. Can't get the lid off. I've put hand cream on. My hands are too slippy. But they're lovely. They're gold inside here, and they don't roll off the table because they've got the straight edges, which I think is brilliant. How often have you had a nail art brush fall on the floor because they're round?
Wow.
So this is made by a nail tech. So details like that, you should always buy from a nail tech, I think.
Yeah. Absolutely. I totally agree with that wholeheartedly. So I want to get into as far as nail art products. What are some like your favorite nail art products, whether it's like gels, 3D gels, or what's some of your favorite products to use?
I love to work with art gels. So I love the consistency of art gels, especially for doing all of the fine details. Could not be without those. And the watercolors. Have you used any watercolors over there yet?
Yeah, I've used like watercolors, gouache, for nail art and stuff like that. Yeah.
So cool. I absolutely love it. Do you know what as well? Nail art inks. I'm a big fan of nail art inks. I love that you can just build and create that glass-like effect. Yeah, I'm a big fan.
Yeah.
But if I had to pick something, it would be the art gels every time.
Yeah, I like the art gels, but also too, like, just like how I work with like gouache and watercolor, especially gouache. Gouache is like a mixture of like acrylic and watercolor. So when you paint with it, it'll be like, say if you do like a color of like a dash of purple. So you can still work with it. If you put your brush on it again, you can still work with it and move around with it and stuff. So
Doesn't dry.
yeah. So it's kind of like with oil, but oil is like, oil painting is like, it takes forever. You know what I mean? So, but yeah,
I've not
gouache is
tried
very
the technique.
yeah, so gouache is very, very cool. It's a good medium as well.
Yeah, so cool. If you just known the industry 20 years ago, there was like, well, I think I've been doing it about 17 years. When I first started working and doing nail art, there was none of this, absolutely none. It was those little, did you ever remember those like pens that was like a ballpoint pen and that was the nail art pen? You had to like squeeze it. Oh God, they were absolutely awful.
Squeeze tubes, yeah.
Yeah. And that was it. That's all you had. You had obviously like nail art gems and a dotting tool, and that was it. And now when you see like all the chromes and the glitters and the inks and the everything, it's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like around like 2014, 2015 or something like that, or if not earlier, everybody was doing nail art with like acrylic paint, So like how you said, like how you said, there wasn't like art gels. Like, I mean, there was kind of art gels, but it was like mostly in Japan, in Korea, South Korea specifically. But here in the US, like some nail artists that I've seen, not everybody, but I would say some nail artists that I've seen would use acrylic paint for nail. I used to use acrylic paint for nail art. You know what I mean? So
that was not a big, as far as I'm concerned, that was not a big thing in the UK. People weren't using acrylic paint, so we were still on those little like pens.
Yeah.
We were back in the 1999.
Yeah. It's crazy how fast forward, stuff has changed.
Yeah, we're absolutely spoiled now for things. And the
Mhm.
I work with this company who import things from Korea, and the Korean products are out of this world. They're so
Mhm.
advanced compared to us.
Yeah.
Um, just mind-blowing, beautiful, beautiful products.
Mhm. And the biggest thing also too with like Asian nail products is the packaging. You know, the
Oh,
packaging is so remarkable.
beautiful. Just so quirky and different. And it's,
Mhm.
yeah, just some of the bottles for the, the gel colors.
Right.
Like when people walk into my studio, they're like, "Wow, what are those ones?" And I'm like, That's the Korean section."
Yeah, yeah,
They
right,
know how to
exactly.
do it.
Mhm. Yeah, right, absolutely. I wanna get into as far as the nail industry. So coming from a content creator standpoint, what are some things you like about the nail industry, and what are some things you think the nail industry could be improved on?
Okay, so I'm going to answer it probably in the same question rather than split it together. So before lockdown, the UK, in regards to social media, used to be very, very competitive. People
Mhm.
weren't very supportive when it came to supporting your work,
Right.
crediting when they'd used a design. And let's fast forward. The lockdown brought us together as a community, and people are so lovely, so supportive, sharing your designs, commenting on your work,
Mhm.
really, really supportive. So I definitely think that that's the negative and that's the positive there. Also, education has come a long way. You
Right.
know, a lot of content creators like myself, we do free workshops on Instagram Lives. We do, little tips and tricks. I know Shan's obviously got the network that she teaches on. There was none of that before. So can't you have to be grateful to the lockdown to
Mhm.
bring these great, it was an awful time, but to bring these positive things out for the industry. Definitely think it's brought people closer together.
Right.
I don't think there's as much competitiveness now. People have realized that there's room for everybody.
Mhm.
And it's definitely just created this beautiful, especially in the UK, but I've got friends
Mhm.
from around the world now. um, just brought everybody together. So
Mhm.
I hope that answers it. A bit of bit of what I didn't like before was the competitiveness and people not supporting each other, but now it's
Mhm.
definitely like showing everybody that we all can do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I want to shift gears and talk about mental health. So, how have you been able to juggle being, a parent, also a content creator with mental health?
Well, I have to thank my husband for that one. He's very, very supportive, and any time that I can have to create content, he'll have the baby. He's just a really great partner. So he definitely helps me, and he never makes me feel guilty for wanting to come up to my studio and create. He's like, you go and have that time to yourself. You create, because he knows that it's so important to me, and he knows where I want to get with my career. So the
Yeah.
support from him and other family members has
Right.
definitely helped me kind of juggle being a new mom and mental health wise, because there are pressures. There's
Right.
pressures to put out quality work, because like I said, I will only put out something that I think is worth putting out there. So there's definitely
Right.
pressures to perform, pressures to pressures for people to like your stuff, because
Right.
you want people to like it, you want people to
Mhm.
recreate it. So
Mhm.
um yeah, so I just think about having, for me, it's about having a strong network of people who are supporting me around me, and also like the friends that I've made on social media as well, just being able to kind of converse back and forwards with them about
Right.
ideas, or oh, what do you think of this? Is this good? Is this not good?
Right.
And you've got to be able to take the criticism with the positive comments as well.
Right. Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Now, what are some things you like to do as far as decompressing, like outside of like nails?
outside of nails. Do you know what? I do really love to do nails. I do before baby. Obviously, things are like, the last 12 months have been so different for me because I've been bringing up a small human. So I don't get as much me time. And when I do have me time, I am putting my career first at the moment.
Mhm.
But generally, me as a person, but this has not been the last 12 months. I really enjoy exercise. So before baby, I used to go to the gym 4 times a week, sometimes 5 times a week. And I used to do that late at night after work because that would mentally help me decompress from the day. It would, when I'm exercising, I'm not thinking about anything else. I'm just having fun. I am just letting it all go. So I've actually returned quite a few months ago now. I do a Zumba class and I absolutely love my Zumba class because it's so fun. It's just dancing in the dark with the disco lights on, and the instructor is such a laugh. I absolutely love him. He makes me howl with laughter. So that's just once a week that I do that at the moment, but that's the only time really I can grab to do that right now. But as she gets older, things are going to change. So I think, especially like being a mum, you've got to learn to adapt. You've got to learn that no stage is forever. And I'm having to prioritize at the moment what I do with my me time. So it's a good job. I enjoy creating content.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, if you had a top 5 list of your favorite nail artists, who would they be and why?
Oh, okay, right. Obviously, Shan. I'm going to say Shan because she's so inspirational to others. She's one of the kindest people I've ever met, and she is one of the most positive people I've ever met. You will never hear a negative thing come out of her mouth because it's just not in her nature. She's just so bubbly, and I think she brings out the best in everybody. You have a conversation with her and you're on top of the world again. You know, you're loving life, you're feeling really positive. So, and she's an absolutely amazing artist. I don't know whether you must have watched her Instagram lives. That line work is amazing. So definitely Shan. One of the first people that I actually discovered on Instagram when I started my journey was a girl called Beauty Works by Amy. Do you follow her?
I don't think
love
so.
her. Yeah, she does a lot of negative space work, and I'm a big fan of negative space. And I just find all her stuff really, really classy, really classy. So she's definitely up there, and she's really, really nice as well. She's a nice person to chat with. I love an account called Nails Made. They're Ukrainian, and they just have their own style. I'm not quite sure on the girl's name, but she runs a salon, and the salon is just absolute goals. It's so beautiful. And I just really appreciate that, you know, they're just creating their own style, their own designs, and putting it out there. What's her name? Safi Nails. You will know of her. You will. I'll have to send you afterwards. She is amazing. And again, just creating original content. I love to see people who are doing their own thing. Oh, is it MEM Nails?
Yeah, Mutsa.
Yeah, she's just come out of nowhere in the last, I don't know, like maybe I've only just become aware of her, but maybe I think I've been following her for about 6 months. And I look at her stuff and I think that's really cool. That's really, really cool. She's a good, she's gonna blow up. I know she is. She's got a really cool sense of style.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Yeah, I've had Mutsa on my podcast like a year or two ago. Yeah, she's really very, very sweet, very kind, and absolutely talented. You know, yeah, I always support her. Like her work is like top notch.
She's awesome. Yeah, she's really, really cool. And I always know that when she puts something out there, like it's going to be epic. It's never going to be, you can tell that she has those lists of rules, and that she's like me. She's like, I'm not putting that out there if that's not next level. And every time I'm like, that's really good.
Yeah. I'm the same way. Yeah, right, exactly. Because I'm the same way. You know, I make sure that every set that I do, like how with you, you know, that your set is a best set. You know what I mean?
You can tell.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is like, you know, like how you said, first impressions are everything. You know, that's how brands and other people will be attracted to you and things like that, because that's very, very important. You always want to, there again, put your best foot forward.
Yeah. It goes a long way. It really does. Look how we're talking about her because we've been so impressed by her work.
Yeah, absolutely, totally agree with that. So if you had to offer one valuable piece of advice for up and coming nail techs and nail artists, what would it be?
practice, practice, practice. Perfect your skill.
Mm-hmm.
Learn your tools and your medium.
Yeah.
I'm still learning every day. Every day, I'm still learning new things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I'd say. I'd just say practice. Try your absolute best. If you want it hard enough, you will make it happen.
Yeah, absolutely, definitely. Because every day is a school day. Every day is
Yeah,
something to learn. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Life is, is always about like learning every day, learning something new every day. You know what
yeah.
I mean? And there's not a point in time where you just stop learning, no matter how old you get. You know
No,
what I mean? So that's like, even with me being, still young, like I understand like there's so much more for me to learn about life and about art and things like that. So yeah, the possibilities are endless.
it really is. And I think that's the great thing about art. There's
Mm,
always something new to learn, always a new product to invest in, a new, new tool to learn, and there's always something new. It's
yeah.
always evolving, this industry, always evolving.
Absolutely. Last but not least, where can people find you on social media? How can people support you and your work?
Okay, so I am Rebekah X Pritchard on anywhere you can think of. My main presence is on Instagram, and
Mhm.
obviously you can see all my work there, but I am on TikTok, Pinterest, Threads, if that's
Yeah,
still a thing.
yeah. Threads is still kind of a thing, but not a lot of people use that very much. Yeah,
No, I don't use it.
yeah. That's so understandable because
Instagram.
there's so many social medias. It's hard to juggle. Like for me, I
Oh,
use
God.
Instagram and TikTok and stuff like that, and that's pretty much it. So
Yeah,
Snapchat and stuff, I don't use
no,
that.
I don't do Snapchat. No.
Yeah. So that's the thing with that. But thank you so much, Rebekah, for jumping onto the show. Your work is absolutely phenomenal. I really appreciate, our conversation. I really enjoyed with you sharing your story, sharing your experiences, being in the nail industry, owning your salon and being a content creator. And the story with, the friendship with you and Sean is very, very amazing. It's very, very cool. So, Sean is absolutely amazing of what she does, and you're amazing at what you do. So thank you so much again for this conversation.
Oh, thank you so much for inviting me on. I've had the best time.
Yes, absolutely. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Hello, everybody. Thank you all so much for watching. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. Be sure to click the bell for notifications. Also, follow me on my social media platforms and visit my website, ASIATHABIRD.com, and be on the lookout for more interviews to come very soon. Take care, stay healthy, and stay beautiful. Bye-bye.